Another thing that's just kind of common sense, common practice, but common sense ain't common, right? So you got to tell the people is just treat this seriously. I mean, we've never really had that opportunity where, hey, you can be your own bank and people think it's cool to like flaunt their wealth and show their wealth and things like that. But it might be cool in your perception when you're just talking to your friend. But especially if you're doing that online on social medias and things like that, you're literally just asking to either get robbed, to get hacked, a number of things that could, now risk what you were flaunting and now not have that possession of that anymore because someone saw that you were a perfect target for them to attack. Okay, so I never recommend that people say how much crypto they have, say where their seed phrase is, where their hardware wallets are. That's very, very stupid. And it's not recommended. We see it all the time where people got robbed, people got hacked, things like that. And it's a tragedy. So learn from someone else's mistake that was very tragic and try not to have that happen to you because it's not a fun experience, okay? So there's a couple of ways that you can actually separate your seed phrase. As I mentioned, the MetaMask itself has a 12-word seed phrase, and then you need all 12 words in order for it to access. And then the hardware wallet does 24. You can do different like seed phrase strategies where you break it up into like 2/3, and then one of them, like you can kind of interchange those 24 words into like different sections where even if someone did, rob you or wrench attack, things like that, maybe they only got 1/3 or 2/3 of the actual seed phrase and not the rest of the seed phrase that would then unlock it. Okay. So that's something to consider. It's called Shamir secret sharing. So take a look at that. It's kind of hard to spell, but anyways, that's a method that you can do. Some other people have done like rhymes or ciphers where it looks like just a piece of writing or a poem type deal. But in reality, you can kind of decipher it and it's got the seed phrase within itself. There's a number of different things that you can do, even with this with this titanium. But another thing that's important as well, right? Say if you died and you were a Bitcoin millionaire or a billionaire and you were the only one that knew how to access that, well, if no one else knows how to access it and it's already secure in the first place, it's not going to get hacked or stolen, then you're pretty much SOL because now nobody can recover those funds when you're dead. It's an important thing to consider that, hey, do I have someone that I can trust where, if I were to die in the future, that those funds that I worked so hard to earn and to acquire, that those funds could actually go to your family members and not just be lost in limbo forever. Because we see that once again with a lot of old OG Bitcoiners. Some of them died. They never shared it with their spouse, things like that. The spouse had no idea. And now the spouse has no idea how to recover such a thing. So you can definitely consider that, right? Because no one knows when that time is going to be, and how tragic if the funds were dormant when it could literally be helping your loved ones, your family, etc. All right, so that's something to consider. Another thing about the seed phrase is, as I mentioned, it's important to have a backup. It's important to have countermeasures in case there is a fire, in case there is a flood, etc. And so I don't recommend that you're storing it at your house and things like this, because once again, you're literally just welcoming and asking and inviting someone to come to your house, find out where you live, and then rob you at gunpoint and take the actual steel plate or the seed phrase, hardware wallet, things like that. So there's a number of different ways that you can actually do that. I've heard some people doing security boxes, some people giving 1/3 of each seed phrase to different trusted family members, etc. Just at least take it into consideration that, hey, it might be an option and people have done it in the past. You can always tweak the things and change the things how you want to, but at least just consider it and then make your own choice. So what I wanted to say is, don't memorize your seed phrase. Once again, if you are flaunting that, hey, I got my 24-word seed phrase memorized, and I don't have to disclose when I'm traveling across the country or states that I've got more than 10,000, because guess what? I've got it all in my head. Things like that are also not important or not very smart, because you're betting that decision on how your health is today But what if you get in a car crash? What if you die and you're the only one that had it memorized? Things like that. Or what if you have some sort of medical condition where now you have that memory lost, and now you can't access your keys and your seed phrase that you thought you were so smart by memorizing, and that was your only stance of security. So take the countermeasures, take the security seriously now, because especially with things like hex.com, and you're going to have people locking their hex longer than we've seen Bitcoin be around. And so the security itself right now is pretty secure, but you want to make sure you're doing everything you can today, especially for those stakes many years down the road, things like that, because as the future goes on, people are going to, become more advanced and find different ways to try and, get your seed phrase or get to your actual coins and your keys. So you want to be able to not only live for those longer stakes and to be able to realize them, but you want to be able to realize them because it's going to be a lot of interest and gains. You wouldn't want someone else to have that pleasure because you did something stupid by taking, a few less minutes at the beginning and just rushing into the stakes. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Once again, take that security seriously now. We saw $100 go into $1 million, not including staking. And this really is your responsibility. You are your own bank, and it's something that comes with the territory of the mad gains and the massive gains and having that, peer-to-peer decentralized crypto. So yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And I hope everyone does take this to heart and that you take it seriously, because I see a lot of people every single day. I just saw it last night in the Pulse Chain Com Telegram chat, where same thing, oh, I was contacted by MetaMask support or this sort of support, Trezor support, and now I can't find my coins. They're not there, and it happens every single day. So do the knowledge now, take the time now, and even if you're onboarding someone, you're onboarding your loved one, teach them how to take their security seriously too, because how bad would you feel if you onboarded someone and they happen to do something that compromised their coins, they didn't have their coins anymore? Well, guess what? Now that kind of burden of proof is, or like just that burden in general, is like on you. And now that looks really bad on you for not taking 3 or 5 more minutes to teach them why you'd want to spend the money on a hardware wallet. Because we saw that the Trezor itself on the website, on Trezor.io, was like $63. And I think you can actually buy like bundles of them. You can buy like a 2-pack, 3-pack, etc. And it's a little bit less expensive when you buy it in the bundle versus just solo. But if you had less than $100 and you put that into a hardware wallet, now you know that other $100 that's now $1 million in this example, now you know that it's secure and that you can actually like go to sleep at night and not have to wonder, like, did I do anything wrong? Did I miss any steps? Like, am I possibly compromised? The very last thing I'll say is, I mentioned don't put it ever in the digital form. Things like your phone, they can have a not an accelerometer, but they can have things that can monitor your keystrokes and keyloggers and different sounds that can literally decipher what the words are of your seed phrase. Same thing with screen sharing, loggers as well. So you never want to. That's kind of like the thing with MetaMask, right? When you're actually entering in your seed phrase from a wallet that's already set up to a new wallet, a new account, now you're typing those words in again. And if you have a keylogger on your computer that you don't know about, now that person has all 12 words. And since it wasn't secured by, say, a hardware wallet that would have had like an extra layer of security, now that person that has the keylogger can literally just access all your funds, and you would have never known what the hell was going on because you had no idea that your computer had a keylogger and things like that. So don't ever speak those seed phrases out loud. Never do it on the phone, anything like that. Even when you're actually writing it down, don't whisper it. Don't do things like that. Write it down. Don't say it out loud, because things like your phone, things like the computer, things like an Amazon Echo, Alexa, those things could could be a risk vector for being attacked and being compromised. So that's it. This is almost a 30-minute video, but the security itself is important. You know, even if you have $100, treat that like it is $1 million, because it only took 2 years for the Hexicans to have that happen. And, you know, just don't underestimate what people are willing to do to get this kind of fund. And especially when they know that it's not insured, especially when they know that, hey, there is no bank vault to break into. There's just the person, $5 rent attack, things like that. So just take your security seriously now and plan, you know, when you're setting it up, plan for all of those events to happen. And then how would you mitigate not actually losing your coins and your crypto if those events did happen? So that's all I have. I hope everyone takes this seriously, and I'll see everyone later. Thank you.